Welcome to HB RV Lifestyle, the podcast. I am the host, the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as other things. Today, I have an action-packed episode for you. I am finally going to talk about the Grand Design RV 5-year frame warranty. Now, I held off because my gut feeling said that this was going to be a two-part drama, and it played out kind of like that. Now, we're going to dive straight into it, but before I do that, it is Recall Monday. We're going to read the recalls from rvbusiness.com. No matter where you get this episode, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, Samsung, YouTube, if you go to the description of this episode, you can click on the link and read along. Now, while I'm pulling it up, I just want to say this. I'm excited about the third Venom movie. Tom Hardy plays a great Venom. And I saw the trailer was released today, so we're going to get Deadpool, Wolverine, Beetlejuice 2. It's been a pretty good year for movies, so kind of excited. Let me know if you're excited. Email me, comment if you're watching or listening on YouTube. Okay. There is only one recall. It says Grand Design RV LLC is recalling certain 2023 Solitude fifth wheels, loose or missing fasteners on the refrigerator cooling unit can allow excessive movement of the unit, possibly causing the propane line to crack and leak. Dealers will inspect the refrigerator and repair or replace it as necessary, free of charge. Owner notification letters are expected to be mailed out June 20th. If you are a 2023 Solitude fifth wheel owner, do not wait, do not wait for the recall letter to come to you. If you go to this article, it has the recall number and the customer service number for Grand Design. This is not something you want to sit on. It's not like a fire extinguisher or that hood light that everybody's going through. This is a propane possible problem, and you don't want that to happen. So please, don't wait for the letter. Make sure you contact Grand Design. The recall number is 910043. Have them look up your VIN number, see if it's possible that you're going through it, and just get it handled. Okay. All right. Now for the good stuff, right? Now, I'm going to do this in two phases. Phase one, I'm going to talk about the initial announcement and the initial warranty, and then we'll talk about Don Clark's letter, part two. Okay, so bear with me. There's 6 pages. We're going to kind of skip around a little bit because a lot of it reads like stereo instructions, like a Martian talking to a fungo. If you get that reference, let me know in the comment section what movie that's from. If you know that, I'm going to say it again, like a Martian talking to a fungo. You let me know what movie you think that phrase is from. All right. What does this warranty cover? This is directly from the PDF from Grand Design's website. Grand Design RV LLC, which is considered the warrantor, provides this 5-year warranty period, limited towable frame warranty, which begins from the date of purchase by the original retail consumer purchaser on model year 2020 or newer vehicles. Pardon me. So this isn't just for the fifth wheels. This includes travel trailer and toy hauler travel trailer. So Imagine, Transcend, Solitude, Reflection, Momentum, etc. So this includes the travel trailers. This wasn't just set up for just the fifth wheels. This limited warranty covers defects in the towable frame assembly, which is defined below. We'll get to that. utilized by warrantor and labor provided directly by warrantor, but does not cover parts not standard equipped by the warrantor. Now, that reads like legal jargon, like a lawyer came up with that, and that's hard to interpret. What I will say is it reads a lot like the majority, actually, I should say almost the entire industry's roof warranty. You actually read the lifetime or the 20-year, the 15-year warranty for these roofs, it reads a lot like that. From my perspective, they're basically saying they'll cover the labor, but they're not necessarily going to cover the parts. It's the same thing on a roof warranty, but the opposite. On the super majority of the roof warranties across the industry, they cover the parts, but they don't necessarily cover the labor. So it's kind of one of those catch-22s. Now, again, you're talking about a warranty for 10, 15, 20 years on a roof. We're not talking about 1 or 2 years. Okay. In addition to the foregoing and other limitations and restrictions set forth in this limited warranty only covers a recreational vehicle sold to the original retail customer by an authorized warrantor dealer. So basically, it has to be a new coach sold by an authorized Grand Design dealer, but only if this limited warranty is registered to the vehicle's owner's name within 30 days of the date of purchase. Okay, stop right there for a second. This is on the customer now. This is not on Grand Design. This is on the customer. And this is on the dealer. This is a double-edged sword situation. Dealerships do not like to register the warranties too quickly because that shows up in the system as a sold unit. And now what does the manufacturer want to do when a unit is sold and registered? They want to ship another unit to the dealer. Let's remember that I've been talking about this for 2 years. The dealers are overstuffed with inventory, and they are trying their best to cut their inventory down. So basically, what Grand Design is now telling dealers and the customer is you better get the bloody warranty registered. By the way, there's going to be no foul language in this episode, so you guys can keep your kids around if you're listening. So the reality is that you, the customer, if you buy a Grand Design product, you better stay on the dealer's butt about registering it. So here would be my suggestion. 2 weeks after you take possession of your Solitude, Momentum, Transcend, whatever you're purchasing, you call the manufacturer customer service line and you verify that VIN number has been registered under your name. And do it every other day after 2 weeks until you verify it's registered. Because if you don't follow up yourself, the dealerships may or may not register it within the 30 days because of the problems that the dealership network across the US and Canada have had with overstuffed inventory and, watch this, manufacturers breathing down their neck wanting more orders and more inventory on their lot because everybody's hurting. Let's make that a fact. Okay, a little side note, there's a dealership in the border of LA and Orange County in California that's shutting their doors July 12th. Large location that sells 100, 150 a month. Gone. So let's just keep that in mind as we're moving down the process, that if you're going to make, you have to make sure this thing is registered. Okay, because that is a strict thing. That's black and white. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They have put that in there. The limited warranty is not assignable to any person or entity. Towable frame assembly consists of materials directly attributable to warrantor, namely the main frame rails, I-beam, outriggers, cross-member, upper deck frame, and any original components affixed by weld or huck bolt to the towable frame. So it looks like they might cover, let's say, an outrigger snaps. They're going to cover the materials on that. But it seems like they're not going to cover any damage that's caused by. Now, let me kind of back up a second. This frame warranty is separate from the structural warranty. So basically, the structural warranty is still 3 years. So if in year 5, you have frame failure, they're basically saying that they're not going to fix any cracks in the fiberglass for free. They're not going to fix any kind of issues with the floor or a slide out or anything of that nature. They're strictly in year 5 covering just the frame. It's just like a roof, right? The roof, they're not going to cover the air conditioner. They're not going to cover the sidewalls if they have splits to it because of the roof. They're going to cover just the roof if something happens in, let's say, 9 years. So just keep in mind, if you're starting to have that cracking along the sidewall, that's not covered. You're going to have to pay out of pocket for that. But the frame warranty, the actual frames are associated with the frame, that'll be covered. Pardon me, my allergies are really bad. It's super hot and humid outside. It's like, holy crap. The sole remedy for a breach of the limited warranty is as follows. Defective parts and workmanship will be repaired by the warrantor or the warrantor's authorized agent, provided that the following terms are met. This is where it's going to get interesting. Number 1, the warrantor's authorized agent must be notified of the covered defect within the warranty period and within 20 days of when the defect was discovered or should have been discovered by a reasonable person exercising reasonable care according to the terms of this limited warranty. Now, here's my question. Who determines? How is that going to be determined? That seems like, and this is just me speaking aloud, reading it, it seems to me that they're putting a lot of responsibility that the owner better make sure that they are checking their frame every 20 days. That's basically what it's stating. That you bet if you kind of had an idea, but it really wasn't showing anything, but 40 or 50 days later, all of a sudden it's really showing, it seems like they have a way out of covering it. So basically the way that reads is that you, the owner of the Grand Design product, should have your frame inspected every 20 days. That's pretty much what they're saying. Now, I don't know if that was put there to give them a way out. See, I don't write lawyer. I don't understand lawyer. I don't understand legalese. It's a completely foreign language to me. And it's a foreign language I'm never going to understand. Number 2, the person seeking the replacement of the defective part or labor must be the original retail consumer purchaser. Now, we'll get to that later. We know that changed, but we'll get into that later. An assignment of the recreational vehicle to another person voids this limited warranty. Again, we know that changed. We'll talk about that in a minute. The defective material or workmanship for which the warranty work and or part is sought must be the welded or huck bolt fastened frame assembly only. So axles, sidewalls, pin box, not going to happen. Okay, this is just the upper deck and the I-beam and the outriggers. So if there's something wrong with the pin box, if there's something wrong with the front cap, something wrong with the sidewalls, that's not covered. All other terms and conditions of this limited warranty must be satisfied. Here's the interesting part. This is page 2. What types of things are excluded from the limited warranty? This limited warranty does not cover, and warrantor has no obligations under this limited warranty for the exclusions listed below. A. Any and all components that are attached to the frame assembly in final stage production, including axles, fifth wheel pin box, rear hitch assemblies, unless welded or huck bolted to the frame, sidewalls, or any other body structural component, any components installed in the underbelly area between the frame rails, or any other components not considered to be part of the welded frame assembly are excluded. Okay, now part of that makes sense. I'm going to give Grand Design the benefit of the doubt in this respect. If in year 5, the outriggers go kaplooey on you, they're basically saying if, let's say, your gray tank cracks because of it, they're not going to cover the gray tank. They're going to cover the fix on the frame. So we're talking year 5. We're not talking about year 1. We're talking about year 5. Year 5, your frame fails and causes any damage to the coach outside of the frame. That damage is out of your pocket. I'm going to repeat that again, just so, but a different way. If in year 4 or 5, your frame failure happens and causes, let's call it collateral damage to your tanks, your electrical, your front cap, your pin box, your axles, they are not going to cover anything but the frame repair. Everything else will be out of pocket. Does that make sense? If that doesn't make sense to you, email me at levingstonrvservices@gmail.com. That's levingstonrvservices@gmail.com, and I'll get you a different explanation. But very interesting. B. Failure to maintain or care for the recreational vehicle frame as outlined in the owner's manual. So, folks, make sure you read that frame maintenance that's in their warranty packet. Because if you want to have documentation. So, in other words, and again, this is where I'm going to give Grand Design the benefit of the doubt. Okay? The benefit of the doubt is that in the majority of cases before this all became explosive, they were right. Bad roads, not taking care of your unit, those could cause a lot of frame failure. It's a mixed bag. And let's remember that this, even though this is not new, this has become a predominant problem because of all the accusations towards Grand Design. You look at every other manufacturer that I've seen in emails directly towards me, it's a super majority having to do with Grand Design. In this case, what they're basically telling you is make sure you get your frame inspected. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you from my perspective being in service. When I work in service, I tell people it's a good idea to have your appliances, your roof, your seals, everything checked and cleaned at least twice a year. You should have your coach weighed once a year. You should check on your brakes once a year, bearings packed once a year. What I would do in this case is I would have my frame inspected by a Grand Design authorized dealership or service center or an SRT team, some kind of mobile technician I would have it done every 6 months to a year to make sure that you're within the required maintenance of the coach, and get it documented, folks. Because if we're so far reading a lot of loopholes, and if you want to close those loopholes, you have to make sure you have your documentation and don't get lazy about your maintenance. Because it's like with anything, Ford, Chevy, Kia, Hyundai, any manufacturer of anything, the warranty department's main job is to say no and cut cost. Don't give them a reason to say no and make it a battle. Okay? C, deterioration, tear, age, and exposure of natural elements, including but not limited to UV rays, rain, hail, sand, and salt. This is going to be the big one. Basically, if you store your unit outside in the elements, they have the option of looking at it and saying, no, you had it stored when it was snowing. No, you had it stored by the beach outside. You did not take proper precautions to make sure that that frame didn't have rust or any weaknesses. Basically, what they're telling you is if you don't store this indoors, or if you don't have it properly maintained according to what the elements may cause the frame to have problems, they have the option to tell you to go pound sand. So here's what I would do. And this goes for everybody. You bought a Grand Design, you bought it secondhand, you bought it new, or you're like, you know what, I don't care what the internet says, I'm buying a Grand Design no matter what. Fine. Just make sure you get clarification in writing from Grand Design what the maintenance plan has to be if you have it on the frame, when you have it stored in the elements, or you're full timing. Get it in writing, folks. So that way you have a scheduled maintenance plan to make sure that this warranty cannot be voided. Okay. Number D, repairs or replacements made necessary by negligence, negligent use of, misuse of, abuse of, or negligent of the recreational vehicle. Okay, I'm going to give Grand Design that 100% right there. I'm not going to give them crap about it. That should be in there. That should be in there on every warranty. So if basically you want to go take it and off-road with it in the backwoods of the Appalachian Mountains where there's no dirt road and it's just bouncing all the way around, you know, you basically overload the thing, that's understandable. Okay, that's understandable. If you're abusing your stuff and not taking care of it, that makes sense. Not going to disagree with that. I'm going to say that's a very, very small percentage of actual RV consumers, but it does make sense. Any damage or defect caused in transit to or from a dealer, or to or from the consumer, or the consumer or another. Now, that has to be in there because they're transported by a private company. This is verbiage that has to be put in because transport drivers pick them up from the yard and they take them to the dealer. Pardon me. So they take them to the dealership, and if they hit something, or if they decide to do something absolutely stupid, then obviously that would void the warranty on that particular fifth wheel. Now, this is the most important part about the exclusions. This is why I've been saying, with a Grand Design fifth wheel, you should be going in with a third-party inspector, period. Whether you're buying it used or you're buying it new, you need to walk in with a third-party inspector before you consummate the deal. Because I'm going to tell you from my perspective as a service guy, when I have to work in service and check in a unit, if I've got 5 units being checked in, I've got 5 customers in front of me ready to check in their units for warranty work. I've got people bugging me to work a deal. I'm not exactly at my best. Okay? So if you got corporate dealer A and mom and pop B, they aren't perfect. No one is perfect in this industry. So paying for a third-party inspector is the smartest thing you could do, especially with all the allegations against Grand Design by its actual customers. Because that way it can prevent any of the defects or anything that came in and you don't get stuck with the unit. F, alterations, modifications, or changes to the original design and build of the towable frame assembly not performed by warrantor. That's obvious. Vehicles registered and used outside of the US and Canada, that's normal. Those last two, perfectly normal things in everybody's warranty. Any defect in parts which are not considered original towable frame assembly components, including but not limited to front and rear fiberglass caps, any other cosmetic fiberglass attachment, sidewall metal, unless the root of the cause is towable frame assembly, all sidewall, end wall, front and rear wall attachments. Basically, we just covered that. Damage caused by overloading, excess weight, or improper weight distribution. That's the third key right there. You need to talk direct. Don't listen to the freaking dealers. Stop listening to the dealer salespeople. Stop listening to Grand Design salespeople. Call the warranty department. Get it directly from the actual person that makes decisions at the warranty desk. How the weight is supposed to be distributed on each floor plan. Let's remember, this is predominantly, it's not the only manufacturer, it's predominantly Grand Design RV that has the super majority of the allegations by customers of frame failure / frame flex. So if you are considering that Grand Design can do no wrong, they're perfect, whatever the case may be, you're going to go buy one, that's fine. But in this case, call their customer service line. Don't talk to a sales guy. Talk to a warranty person and ask them, hey, I'm going to buy a 390 RK Reflection or Solitude, whatever it is. Can you send me a diagram of the proper weight distribution? That way you can make sure that you're within the specs and guidelines that they set. Okay. Damage caused by aftermarket components, this is the rough one, such as tow vehicle hitch, equalizer / stabilizer systems, aftermarket pin box unless approved, or suspension component. So this is, again, something you don't want to talk to the dealer. Screw the dealer in this respect, because you don't want to get stuck with this thing. Don't get it from a Grand Design salesperson. Those reps are after a buck. I'm going to tell you, and it's industry-wide. It's not just the Grand Design guys. This is an industry problem. The industry problem is a lot of the reps. I won't name names because that's not fair, but I've hung out with a lot of reps in my years of being in the RV industry. I was a rep. Okay? And let me tell you something. It's party central for those guys. When they go traveling, they go drinking at the bars, they go eat all out, they go play golf. When they go do training, some of them don't even know their own product. So don't get it from the factory salesperson. Get it from the warranty guys and service guys. What is the list of approved independent suspension? Is MoreRide approved? Is Equalizer approved? Get it directly from the horse's mouth. By the way, get it in writing. I'm pretty sure that they have a list of authorized components that you can do. Authorized pin boxes, authorized hitch setups, authorized suspension, authorized tires. I will guarantee you that if you call Grand Design customer service, I am pretty darn sure that they have a list in writing that they can PDF you. Okay. Damage caused by extreme weather events, including but not limited to flooding, high winds, acid rain, hail, lightning, high heat, or extreme cold. They forgot about hurricane. Again, that's kind of BS. K is absolute BS. They're basically saying that, hey, by the way, there's weather outside, you're canceled. But reality is, what they're talking about, extreme weather events, realistically, and high heat, come on, guys. There's high heat in the desert. How are we supposed to avoid high heat? Come on. Damage caused by road surface conditions, including but not limited to applications of salt or de-icing chemicals, gravel/sand, ruts, or potholes. So basically, everybody in the Midwest, everybody in the Northeast, and everybody in the Pacific, North Pacific coast, you're screwed. That's pretty much what they're saying. Like, if you live in the northern half of the United States and up in Canada, you're screwed. Your warranty is going to be void automatically because you guys have weather and the roads have de-icing material on it. Don't use your rig while it's snowing. Don't go out when it's raining. That's pretty much how that reads. Now, I'll let you guys make all the determinations yourself, because I'm not here to make decisions for you, but I can tell you that 80% of this so far are all loopholes to get out of the warranty. I mean, my 13-year-old daughters could read this, and they know nothing about the industry, and could tell you that realistically this was written. Watch this. This was written with the idea of having every loophole possible to not cover the frame warranty. Because let's be real. Let's actually have a conversation about weather. I'm in Nevada. It gets to 120, 125 degrees out here. I've lived in Klamath Falls, Oregon area. It gets -5 and we can get up to 8, 10 feet of snow during the winter. And winters can last 5 to 6 months. I can only imagine Montana, South and North Dakota, Alberta, Canada, Saskatchewan. Can you imagine? So not only do you have to spend $100 to $150,000 for their fifth wheel, but now you got to go spend even more money to create an enclosure that is environmentally safe, so that way your frame cannot be exposed by the elements. Oh, heaven forbid that you want to go camping in September or start heading down south in September, October. Oh, by the way, there's heavy hail happening. Well, I guess my warranty's voided. I mean, that's how it reads. And every road in America is terrible. Anybody drive down I-40 lately near New Mexico? I mean, there's potholes the size of Kansas. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but let's really talk about this, right? Exterior paint or finish on the frame assembly, including damage, scratches, rust, or any other corrosion that may occur. So basically, all the exclusions, folks, are basically everything. If you sneeze wrong, I mean, that's an exaggeration, but you sneeze wrong and the warranty is voided. I mean, that's exaggeration, obviously, right? I mean, it's craziness, absolute craziness. I'll let you guys read the rest because I'm starting to get long-winded here, okay? But the next thing I really want to go over is I want to talk about let me get over here. Oh, where's Don Clark's letter? This again. Um, there we go. Now, here's the thing. There was some backlash because I don't think anybody understood all the exclusions. The exclusions are almost everything. Like I said, if you fart in the wrong direction, your warranty's voided. That's pretty much how this thing reads. Now, let's say that you get a list of everything because every manufacturer, not just Grand Design, but every manufacturer should have a guideline to tell you how to maintain it properly. And if you have the proper service of a documentation, you take it into a dealer, you take it into a service center, you spend the money, you get the proper documentation showing you had the service work done, it should help. If you have pictures and video of the unit, actually where it's stored, and the temperature control and the humidity control and all that stuff to make sure it never reaches higher temperature or lower temperature or lower humidity, or I'm being sarcastic now, but reality is if you have all the proper documentation, you shouldn't have a problem. Okay. Now, this is where I'm going to backstep myself a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna say that Don Clark's response threw me off a little bit because there was a backlash from consumers. Wasn't that everything voids the warranty pretty much? It was, oh, but it's not transferable. What about as second owners? What about if we want to sell it? We already are having a tough time selling them or trading them in because of all these problems. I expected Don Clark to say nothing because that's pretty much what Don's been doing. But I'm going to give credit where credit is due. It doesn't mean that he's my favorite hero or anything, but I'm going to give credit where credit's due. There was a pretty quick reaction. And quick in the RV business is a couple weeks. And this is what they did. He said, our commitment. Dear valued customers, we have heard good feedback on our recent announcement on the extension of our frame warranty on all units to 5 years. However, some of our customers have asked if it is possible to make this warranty transferable to subsequent owners. This is a value add for current owners and peace of mind for customers shopping Grand Design RVs in the used market. I agree with that. When you buy a Grand Design, you expect industry-leading product, service, and warranty, and we agree. We have listened to your requests, and we have some exciting news effective immediately. Our 1-year base warranty, our 3-year structural warranty, and our new 5-year frame warranty are all transferable to subsequent owners during the warranty period based on the original service date. And obviously, it looks like it's retroactive as well. If subsequent orders should notify Grand Design to update our records and enjoy the coverage of the warranty. Okay, so here, I'm going to tell you guys something, okay? I've given Grand Design a lot of crap on this show. I've given them a lot of crap. That is probably the first thing that they have done right in this entire situation. Okay. I agree that it should be transferable. Now, again, the warranty pretty much everything you do voids the warranty. But again, if you get clarification on everything and you have the proper service records and the proper maintenance records, you should never have a problem getting it fixed. The other thing I'm going to say is this too. While Grand Design RV has not responded the way that the community would want them to, they have at least started to respond. Now, a lot of that comes from pressure, and that's the beauty of social media. That's the beauty of having all this connection having all these people that are reaching out, having a good, solid base of people and owners and Facebook groups. And a lot of you, I'm going to say this. I've read through a lot of the blogs, I've read through a lot of the Facebook groups, and a lot of you seem to agree with me that this warranty seems like complete BS. And we could all be wrong. I'm going to say that. We could all be wrong. I would still say, just like with any vehicle, have it serviced and maintained by the dealer. Pay the money. I know a lot of people like to DIY stuff, but DIYing your own maintenance does not give you any kind of record that can be falled back on. I know a lot of you don't want to spend the money at a service shop. Oh, they're a ripoff. Some guys across the country are at $300 an hour. I understand. But at some point, you got to have these things serviced and a record of it being maintained and serviced. Doing the little things like changing your light bulbs, changing your water pumps, changing out, tightening up cabinets and putting up trim and things of that nature. I completely get it. But when it comes to axles, comes to your frame, comes to your sidewalls, your tanks, your brakes, your roof, have it inspected and in writing on a repair order. Do it twice a year. Do it right before you use it during this camping season, and do it again when you're about to store it. If you're full timing, take 2 to 3 days a year to make an appointment during your trip. Go stay in a cabin. Go stay in a hotel. Let's be cautious. Let's actually use our common sense and use their verbiage against them in the respect that if you have all the proper documentation, all the proper proof of everything you're doing, plus you have their guidelines and their list of things that are allowed, you'll never have to worry about voiding this frame warranty. But I'm going to tell you folks, you got to get indoor storage. If you store it out in the elements. And here's the other thing I want to say. Last thing about this. Number one, I want everyone that buys a Grand Design fifth wheel or travel trailer, when you go to a dealership that has had snow, let's say Billings, Montana, or Missoula, Montana, or somewhere in Ohio or Michigan, or wherever the case may be, go look at the date of manufacture of the trailer you're buying if it's Grand Design. If it was built in the summer and it's been sitting there all winter, you're more than likely going to have your frame warranty voided. Because just like the paperwork says, the documentation says, if it's been sitting out in the elements, it's voided. If it was built in the spring and you're buying in summer, you got a good shot it hasn't been sitting in the elements. Now, I'm going to do another take on this tomorrow. On Tuesday, I'm going to do one every single day this week, because this is a very important subject. I'm getting more and more information passed on to me. And I'm breaking this down more and more. So, hopefully, this is helpful to you. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. It's free. and we'll see you next time.